Okay, let's see if this is connecting. There may be a latency period when it does, if it does connect. If it doesn't connect, I'm going to be really fucking annoyed. Okay. Still says connecting. Okay, now it says it's connected. Now it says it's connected. There we go. Apparently now it works. I don't know what the fuck was going on earlier, but apparently the YouTube recording is going to be missing, what is it, like 15 minutes of the stream? So fuck if I know, right? Oh my god, there goes my mouse. Okay, so now, since we're here, I can, let's see. I'm going to start recording what is going to be another episode, since I like to make episodes out of the live streams, right? Alrighty then, so today we are going to examine a marvelous troll, right? This was great. As soon as I saw this going on, I was like, I have to make an episode about this. I hope people don't start deleting their making an ass out of themselves tweets before I get to make a video about this, and some of them already have, but luckily people are also archiving people making asses of themselves on this particular thing. So what happened, right? God, I love this. So there is a bit of a Gnostic inflection in a lot of the art community, where it's like, oh yeah, we have the secret knowledge. We know the things that no one else. We know the hidden true, right? We have the critical consciousness. We can tell what's real art and what's not real art, right? We, like, reality can be whatever it is I want it to be. It's why they don't define their terms when you ask them questions, right? Because they want to be able to leverage the ability to evade responsibility for being inconsistent, right? And long story short, some of these people got fucking called out for it. Not rudely, but they got called out by their own idiocy. And let's look at this. This is Shlom's or I don't know how to say that. So I just generated an image in the style of a Monet painting using AI. Please describe in as much detail as possible what makes this inferior to a real Monet painting. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I clocked this immediately, right? I had an immediate sense. It's like, wait a minute. Hold on. And then it turned out I was actually right about this, because, like, again, I used to do trolling, and I'm like, I detect a little bit of troll in here, right? I can't tell you what it is. It's just it's a feeling, like a sixth sense, right? From one troll to another, and I'm like, fucking marvelous troll. I love this to death, because obviously the key here is this is not AI generated. This is human made. This is human gen, right? Someone actually painted this physically and just said it was AI. And let's see how many people took the bait, right? So here's the addition to the troll, right? Shloms says, and also, funny enough, he's using cuneiform in his as his name, right? Please focus on the specific visual elements that distinguish the AI image from a real Monet painting, like the one below, like the below, but it should be the one below. And here is the reference piece, right? Like the one to compare it to. And obviously there was a bit of issues. Hello, Cabot. That's a pretty painting. Yeah, right? But yeah, so too many people replying with non-answers and provenance witticisms, so I will be directly quoting actual answers engaging with the question, which is a wise move, right? Because it allows it to be easier to find the people who are actually responding in earnest, actually trying to address the claim, right? And by the way, this gives me a lot. This puts a smile on my face, because again, as someone who's been like advocating for the pro-life movement, I immediately clocked what this is, because it's like you get used to the pro-choicers be like, oh yeah, you think this is a human, and they post an embryo like a what would you call it, like a rendition, and then the catch is they want you to get emotionally captured so that they can pull the rug out and you like, actually, this is a dog fetus. Actually, this is a cat fetus. Actually, this is a dolphin fetus, right? Because again, there are certain points in development where it can be kind of hard to distinguish some of these things, right? And they do that on purpose to make you look like an idiot. Yeah, this got turned on the other side for once, right? For once, the Quangos get to subjected to their own tactics, and I must have gone to McDonald's because I'm loving it, right? But let's see. So, he at least courteous, right? Thank you to everyone who provided their critiques and analysis. I have minted the inferior image on Ethereum blockchain and will now auction to the highest bidder. Absolutely fucking based. By the way, I've seen artists make money off of blockchains, specific, NFTs. And the thing about NFTs is you're buying it's a signature. You are paying for the signature. That's what the NFT is, right? It's a signature chain. And it's basically like a hype beast. No one's buying NFTs unless they actually have the money to throw it away, right? But anyway, so here we go. Inferior image. I just generated an image in the style of a Monet painting using AI. Please describe in as much detail as possible what makes this inferior to a real Monet painting. 0.999 Ethereum, which would be $2,264.03 USD, right? It's where the bidding starts. So, get that bag, king, right? Anyway, so, long story short. Inferior Image has sold for $42,500 and now resides in Jedi Wolf's extensive collection of historical AI art. Funny enough, it is not AI art, right? Again, we already covered this. Fucking hysterical troll. Thank you to the thousands of critics who provided their expert analysis of the image to help us better understand the work. So Jedi Wolf here, we learned a lot in the last 24 hours, not just about art or AI, but about ourselves. And I'm struggling to think of anything more valuable. Thank you again, Shlom's Inferior Image is now part of my Under the GAN early AI art collection. Again, there are people who see value in things that you find without value. What's that thing? One man's trash is another man's treasure. Someone may hate AI art, but keep making the AI art if you're making the AI art because someone finds value in it. Also, if you're making human-made art with not touched with AI at all, keep making that because you know what? There are people who find value in that. Just respect the customer, by the way. Oh shit, Cabot's been talking to me. Let's see. Cabot says, isn't encouraged to learn from famous painters. The fetus thing was in science books for years. That's true. Nice way to make a quick buck. You would think so, but people selling NFTs sometimes can end up waiting quite a while before someone picks up that work, right? If it helps, it helps. I am very well aware of a case where a woman, a female artist who actually had some really severe medical issues, was struggling to get people to actually buy her artwork in real life or digitally. So then what she did is she ended up moving to NFTs, and then it turns out people with a lot of money to spend saw her work and were like, oh, I actually like this person's work, and started paying her way more than anyone else was paying her when she was doing regular commission work, right? So an NFT thing is very closer to a patronage thing than it is to a real commission work. And she actually was able to get medical care. And you know what happened? It's not the people who were buying her stuff through NFTs who were causing her problems. It was the entire art community that tried to bully her into committing suicide. Maybe I should do a reaction to that one day because Unique Namosaurus has a really good video about that. Now, I'm not going to react to the fucking 5 or 8 hours of documentation about the harassment campaign that the artists, right, the left-wing artists tried to pull on her to get this poor woman with an actual medical condition to kill herself. But you know what? If NFTs could help a person get their medical bills paid, I'm not going to stop them, right? Hold on. Let's see. Cube Con Queso says, came in to a very solid message. Exactly. Right. I hope so. Right. I try to be realistically positive. Firestorm Cabot said, if you are unknown, sure, but if you have a big name, it sells like hotcake. Yes, but the problem is you have to start somewhere, right? And sometimes the NFT thing is actually a way to start, because it helps to get, because it can help to get your name out there. There are good people who struggle to make money off of NFTs. That's true. There are bad artists who make money off of NFTs because it turns out some people actually like shitty art, right? But then there are really amazing artists who make really good money off of the NFT thing as well. I've seen some spectacular art minted as NFTs make fucking bank. So again, it's just one of many tools at your at your disposal. Use whatever tools you can to, again, receive the to actually receive like compensation for your work. If the tool is out there for you to use it. Maximize your productivity and maximize the ability to profit from your productivity, right? You owe it to yourself. Let's see. Firestorm Cabot says, let's see. Exclusivity and FOMO are powerful motivators. That's true. No, that's actually Cube Con Queso. Cabot says, there are always those who want to drag you down with them. Yes. Queso says, crabs in a barrel. Some just want to spread the hurt. Cabot says, the ugly monkeys come to mind. Yeah, right. Again, if you try to bully someone into committing suicide because they have back problems and they need to support their family, and the only way that they can make money is NFTs, you are an ugly monkey. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, right? Kukan Queso says, I want to learn to use my spare rig to get into AI Gen. I have a VTuber model idea, but I has the dumb also. Oh, I mean, to be fair, I have moments of the tism and the dumb as well, right? We all do. But I'll see if I can feel free to send me a message on Twitter. I'll see if I can find any resources to help you on that, if you want. But let's see. Continuing on with the episode, right? We actually get a direct answer finally, right? And this just exposes the vacuousness of so-called art critics. Because again, if you can't tell the difference between AI generation and human generation, what the fuck good is your ability to criticize art, especially if your position is that only one is meaningful, right? So, I'm disappointed to have to even point this out. There's no cohesion to the depth and color choices. Now, to be fair, I'm colorblind. Can't really comment on that, right? I can't even see the skin tone of my own model, right? I did that on purpose, by the way. The reflection of the tree bleeds into the lily pads with no regard for spatial depth or contrast. The background lily pad algae amalgam is egregiously vague, like most AI art. I mean, I think he probably did that on purpose, right? This is a bit of a troll. I'm pretty sure he did that shit on purpose, right? This is a real Monet, you dingus. Amazing. My bad. I mean, at least this person, right? This person can at least, again, I'll give this person credit. They can at least be the butt of the joke, right? Yeah, if you can be like, yeah, this was a flub on my part, you immediately get some respect from me, right? Because everyone makes an ass of themselves eventually. I know I have made an ass of myself a fair share of times, and I admit to it. It's like, look, really stupid move on my part. One person tried to tell me I was being facetious on a Twitter debate one time, and I told him I'm the most retarded person you've ever met. I got a degree in creative writing. I actually earned some points for that comment, by the way, from the guy. So a little bit of realistic self-depreciation, not taking yourself too seriously can help. Let's see. Kupon Queso says, I appreciate it, but I only have this. Never had Twitch or anything else. Old and stubborn. I mean, fair enough. We all have to start somewhere, and we all have like what we want to do in our vision, right? Cabot says, contrast does a lot of heavy lifting in art. That is true. Let's see. Now we get to the next one, right? And here we start seeing what will become a bigger issue as we go through all of this, right? Great answer. Thank you. Very polite. Very respectful. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder what I see here. right? Twitter/X, yeah, right. Yeah, I should start calling it Zitter from now on, like Mentis Wave, right? But it's like interesting. This page doesn't exist. Try searching for something else. I knew this was going to happen, right? I didn't have the opportunity to get to this subject until now, but I knew this shit was going to start happening. Let's see if anyone actually archived it, because yeah, people started figuring this out. Should have screenshotted them, right? Dirty delete. This is why oftentimes also, like, I'll just tag someone in my response thread. That way it's like, even if you delete the post, and actually I used to do this on other forums where it's like, if I was responding to someone, because I got used to people deleting their comments to, like, when I was like responding to them or saying I didn't actually respond to them, I would directly quote sections that I were responding to in what they themselves posted as to indicate exactly what it was I was responding to. So even if someone would delete their comments in the threads, you could still follow the majority of the conversation because I quoted all the relevant sections I was responding to, right? And I'm gonna be perfectly honest, people fucking hate it when you do that because it actually holds them responsible. Because again, they could delete and they could roach out, but I literally recorded what you said in the conversation and put it for everyone to see. You could roach out all you want, but if I call you by name, right, by username, and I directly quote you, what the fuck are you gonna do now, right? Roach it out doesn't help you, it only makes it worse. Right? Coopcon Queso says, I have to run and burn or some petrol, but I'll leave this on for attention. You rock, man. I'll be listening to your music on the drive. Oh, thank you. Have a safe drive, man. Make sure to not be distracted while you drive. Let's see. So let's try this one. This is the next one. This is Charles Deskins. The reflection in AI is just noise splattered, right? Noise splattered, right? Monet actually understood how light behaves on water. So the light splatters on water better in the below real painting than the first image. No response. No response. Again, look, I grew up in a family of artists, right? Again, I've told this before, right? My father is an illustrator. My mother is an illustrator, right? Like, my uncle was a professor of the arts, right? He was also a German expressionist painter, right? By the way, German expressionism is actually a fairly interesting subject in the field of art. I've always had an interest in art, right? You want to know why I watch cartoons, but I don't watch movies, right? Or at least live action material, except for like a few instances. It's because a cartoon, an animation, is literally a drawing come to life, right? I have an interest in things like line and movement and all this stuff. These are actually things I find interesting. And again, I had another uncle who was a musician, right? My entire family, like my grandfather was a musician. My other grandfather, guess what, was a graphic designer. I come from a family of artists. I do not give a shit about the opinions of artists, quote unquote, on Zitter, who, again, like, can't even tell, don't understand that human beings make mistakes, which we will get to later, because I found an example of a real person's art being called AI that I haven't seen anyone talk about. We'll get to that later, right? So I don't give a shit about the opinions of like these big Twitter artists, to be perfectly honest, because my family had to my family had to survive off of art. So yeah, let's continue. That also, by the way, it's why I'm not an artist, right? I mean, I do art on my own, but I don't make any kind of money off of art because to hell with that, right? At least for me, right? That's not exactly how I want to live. Let's see. Ooh, I got some more comments. So Cabot says, I've screenshotted people who blocked me on Twitter to have one last word. That's, you know, a fair point, right? Art and music was required elective the first 6 years of my school life. Oh, interesting. Wait. Required elective. That's an interesting. I've never heard those two words put together that way. Let's see. So let's go to Chief Yeti. Chief Yeti said, choice of color in places. Example, the purple around the lily pad sticks out to me as decidedly worse than most Monet. At least this is like, again, explaining why this is worse than Monet's in like objective fashion, right? I get a sense that the artist failed to connect their eyes to the brush/palette, almost as if, and then ... I don't know what the ... means. I'm presuming it's like the implication is the eyes weren't connected to the brush or palette, because again, the original troll is that he said that this was AI generated when he actually painted this by hand. And let's see what the response is. Okay, so in this one, the color around the lily pads is better. And what specifically gives you the sense about the artist connecting their eyes to the brush and palette? I will give it to Yeti. Yeti had an actual conversation. Getting a real conversation off of people on Twitter or off of Zitter can sometimes be like pulling fucking teeth, right? Like, I've tried to talk to some of these anti-AI people when they post that stupid learn to draw meme where they got the artist looking with absolute contempt with the pencil out. This is actually why I didn't give Glitch Studios, right? Like, shit, when they had the drawing of Poe, like, with compassion and care, actually giving someone a pencil, and they say, you know, prompting people to learn how to actually draw, like, with their own hands. I actually like that. That was a good piece. Because, again, it's not being done out of contempt. It's not being done out of disgust. It's being done out of it would be tragic for you to not know what you can do. Right? What was the thing that, like, the Greek philosophers would say? It is a tragedy for a man to live his life not knowing the full extent of what his body is capable of, right? It's the same thing with the mind. It is tragic for a man to live his entire life and not know what the limits of his mind is as well, right? What the limits of the abilities he has at his natural disposal are, right? So I keep telling people, learn to draw and learn to prompt. You can do both. And in fact, if you're going to do art, it would actually probably benefit you to do both, because prompting will teach you how to actually describe what it is exactly you want, to translate image into word, and drawing will allow you to to develop those principles you can translate into the prompt in the first place, right? So it's like the two, you can learn from both. But anyway, so back to the thing. Back to Chief Yeti, who I'm giving props, right? So, lily pads in this one are better in my opinion, yeah? I mean, you can have that opinion, fair. With that eye to canvas connection, what I see is the artist passing what they see through a consistent filter, almost. They're not trying to capture reality exactly, which, to be fair, here's the thing. This is already a bit of an issue. They're not trying to capture reality exactly, but the choices they make, like response, color, shape, form a coherent, complete piece of artwork. This part right here is going to trip people up. They're not trying to capture reality exactly. Here's the thing. That is a very specifically realist or imitativist critique, right? So realism and imitativism are similar. You'll see realism used more often in like the critique of literature, but imitativism is basically a synonym used in the theory of visual arts. Imitativism is the idea that the function of art, or the way you critique art, is how well it imitates or captures reality as it is, you know, filtered through sense perception, right? This is where you get, like, for example, it's really good for the understanding of, like, let's say realist and hyper-realist realism as art styles, right? But there's a very obvious caveat here, which is that the function of art is not to capture reality as it is. The function of art is to concretize a metaphysic, a view of man and his life, right? A view of the world as it either is or could be. And the issue here is that not all artists operate the same way. Some artists are more emotivistic, right? And emotivism is another theory of art criticism, where instead of critiquing how much it imitates life, it critiques how well it expresses and captures emotion. That's another one, right? So there are many different ways. Instrumentalism is another theory of art criticism, where instead of like addressing the art as a thing in and of itself, you address art as an instrument towards a particular goal. And how well does it perform that particular goal? And instrumentalism is useful if you're trying to do commercial art, for example, right? So there's all kinds of ways you can tackle this topic. But right here we have a privileging of imitativism, which I don't really think is justified, right? Again, what makes you think imitativism is the particular thing that they're going for in this particular piece. But I digress, right? That's a little bit me being a bit of a shitter on like art criticism, because let's be fair, art criticism, like literary criticism, is the fine art of bullshit, and I am a decent bullshitter, I would say. Let's see. Did I miss anything? Let's see. Okay, yeah, I did miss a little bit. Cabot says, yes, basically we had the maths, English, and science, then art. Music, let's see, PE, yeah. The Greeks was all about peak physical fitness, or was that the Romans? Both. Both of them. So they had a hylomorphic view of of man. So a man in the Greek view was a soul body composite. You were both body and soul. So the idea was, or at least in the Aristotelian tradition, the Platonic tradition, you were basically a soul trapped in a body. But anyway, under the Aristotelian tradition, since you are a body, right, then you have to take care of your body. You have to cultivate both your body and your mind. So there's a difference depending on what specific era and what specific like school of Greek and Roman thought you're talking about. But Aristotelianism in particular was the tradition I was referring to. Let's see, he says captures emotion like animated movies and the like, right? Quatico Lake Runner, hello. Glad to see you, man. And yep, right. So I actually meant to stream way earlier than this, but I had a couple things to do, and I didn't drink enough water, and I ended up crashing like hell. So let's continue. Oh wait, wrong button. Let's see. So we've already covered the mistake of assuming realism or imitativism as like the primary mode here. In the AI example, the purple on the lily pads is inconsistent with the rest of the painting, some of the brushwork too. I can't comment on the color issue because, again, colorblind, right? Some of the brushwork too, along with the colors of the water plus reflected tree, it all adds up to make it feel like a trained but untalented student's attempt at recreating Monet's style. Oh, the fucking irony, right? Again, I love trolls like this. I fucking love. So it's like a proof of cash. It's crop Monet painting, laughing my fucking ass off. Chief Yeti, Lamau, not even cropped. I almost said if you told me it's a Monet, I'd believe you and say even the greats produce duds sometimes, and now I wish I'd kept that in my OP. I mean, again, if you could take it on the chin, I already have more respect for you, even if you are being a little retarded, right? Cabot says, I'm glad it was later than later. I finished making my bed frame in half an hour ago. Oh, lovely. Hopefully that works. Hopefully that works well, man. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Revisiting his Water Lily series now, and my claims stand. I'd put it in the bottom decile execution-wise. There's some commentary on our perception of art in the AI era here that I can't articulate, but I like it. Thank you, Shloms. Let's see, taking it like a champ. Exactly, right? Again, if you can take your lumps with grace, people will respect you more, right? Because again, it happens to the best of us. I've made really stupid comments before, and if you can take it like a champ, people will give you, people will respect you more, right? Just saying. Let's see. So I guess you'd say this is Monet's slop as far as Monet's work go, something like that. Someone mentioned elsewhere that this was one of his later works after his vision started to go, so I guess it gives it a good story or whatever. But like, if I'm hanging a water lily on my wall, there's like 200 others I'd choose other than this one. And this is actually a really interesting thing, right? Because again, it doesn't really capture reality as it is, right? But maybe it does. Because here's the thing. Your perception of reality is like filtered through your sense perception. And we do have documentation of artists recreating their sense perception, especially when their sense perception is damaged in artistic media, right? And they do that on purpose, right? So this could very well be, again, if his eyes are going, and like if this is one of the more duds because, again, of the lack of coherence, let's just give him this, right? Let's just give him that, right? maybe this really is like a concretization of how he currently sees the world, so that he can give people a better understanding of how it is he is interfacing with the world through, let's say, like the degradation of his vision, right? Just saying, right? There may very well be a reason for this. Some German expressionism was the product of people with degraded eyesight, and yet German expressionism is still a wildly successful area of artistic history. Right? So imitativism can get you so far, but it can't get you where you need to be in total, right? Let's see. Cabot says, I love impressionistic paintings of landscapes and still life, but I always hated drawing real life bodies. But it was to learn anatomy. I mean, yeah, fair enough, right? Imitativism does have that example, right? The more you understand a real body, the more you can do with an abstracted human body, right? You do have to learn the realistic element in order to abstract what it is, because you have to understand what it is you're working with to successfully abstract it, right? It's like the people who drew Panty and Stocking, right? Panty and Stocking, very abstracted, but these people could draw. Like, they could actually draw real people. They could draw other anime styles, right? And that's because they, again, understood realistic work as well, but they understood it well enough to then translate it into a more abstracted form. In fact, this is what happens with a lot of anime art, right? Is a lot of these people, they can draw realistic, but they choose a more abstracted style, and they got better at that abstracted style by learning realism in the first place, right? The Iron Tiger said, always amazed when people who don't know a damn thing about art pretend like they do. Tell me, which AI did you use to get this half-ass critique from? It almost reads like a GPT comment, almost as if, and then again, yeah, Tiger is a person that is a little sick of a lot of this anti-AI slop, because he is himself a successful human artist, right? He's actually done art themselves the traditional way. They actually have established their capacities, and he uses AI as well now. Again, it's almost as if the two aren't mutually exclusive, and that there may be reasons to use one or the other depending on the circumstances, right? Let's see. Cabot says, learn the basic rules before you can break them. Exactly, right? Learn the principles that you need to, again, because oftentimes you're still using those principles, you're just modifying them to meet a particular style. Yeah, so I'll give Yeti this, right? He took it like a champ, right? I'm not going to shit on Yeti because of this, but he did kind of make an ass of himself here, and he's not the only one, right? Robert Jett, no frame, no sense of the threshold between subject and object, just colors. Humor me and explain what is better about this one. And then let's see if they responded. Okay, that is Robert Jett. This would also not be a Monet if it is or isn't. Paintings exist on walls. Wait, this would also not be a Monet if it is or isn't. Paintings exist on walls. Museums are designed spaces where artwork is elevated to experience. That doesn't answer the question, you'll notice, right? Hello, Fushizi. Right? Let's see. Are the composition, colors, strokes, etc. of the original image distinguishable from a legitimate Monet or not? It is a simple question. What is a legitimate Monet? Pre-Impressionist Monet, not at all. Impressionist Monet, maybe, but it could also be Sisley, or any other Impressionist. So right now, we're just apparently dogging on Impressionism right now, right? Maybe Monet drew something very postmodern one day and it was never bought by a museum. Art is contextual. Kind of, but I have an objectivist model of art, so miss me with that shit. This is some subjectivistic reasoning right here, and I don't like subjectivism. Let's continue the conversation. I think you know what I'm asking. Oh, they do. Robert Jett knows exactly what you're asking. That's why he's dancing around the fucking subject, right? So, then only Monet I've ever seen in person was the Artist's Garden in Giverny at the UAG. I don't know what the fuck UAG is, in New Haven. I'd sometimes smoke a joint and go after class. I don't think your photo feels like that painting did, which I'd imagine is downstream of how it looks. Flowers a bit too big. So, Again, we got a little nitpick there, but no real explanation, right? Let's continue, see if this goes anywhere. And conversation stops because reasonably Shlomes figured out he wasn't going to get a real conversation out of this twat. And, yeah, kind of made an ass out of himself here, right? So, Fushizi says, oh wait, hold on. It's actually Cabot was first. Monet and Van Gogh both had deteriorating art style that is super popular, right? Because it's almost as if art isn't made to replicate life, right? It's almost as if art has a very specific function that does not actually correspond to the desires of the realist, right? Let's see. Fushizi says, which one is better is not physical, so it doesn't count. Can you please answer the question? Right? Well, he didn't even say it's not physical, so it doesn't count. Or at least I don't think it is, right? I don't think I saw that anywhere. Let's see. Yeah, he never said it. He never even said that. At least your statement, Fushizi, actually would be an answer. It's not physical, so it doesn't count. It's a stupid answer, but it would be an answer, right? Didn't even do that. Not even that was the answer, right? It was just dodge the question. They not even entertain the question. What the fuck are we doing here? Right? These are the people telling us that AI art isn't art and they can't even explain to you what art is, right? And they do this for a reason, right? Because it's that whole Thanos quote, reality can be whatever I want it to be, right? If they pin down a specific definition of what art is, and therefore, since we have a specific definition for what art is, an objective way to actually analyze and critique art, that puts that actually puts them subject to criticism. That actually holds them to a standard. And as a result, if you don't want to be held to a standard, you have to obfuscate the definition, right? Because if it can be anything, then there is no standard, right? So, let's see. Firestorm said, who was the painter that made the Melting Clocks painting? Was that Escher? I don't know if that was Escher. Hold on. Let me check. I'm actually drawing a blank here. So, was it Dali? I don't know. Let me check. Names are escaping me right now. Persistent. Ah, god damn it! I got it right before I fucking typed it in. Yeah, it was Salvador Dali. It's the persistence of memory, right? I don't know. It's not my preferred art style, so I have never been a big fan of Dali. I actually don't like the guy, so I've never been a big fan of Dali. Yeah. So I don't really keep up with him. Let's see. Fushizi says again, dodges the fuck out of the question and makes the weakest critique possible. Yeah, that's by design, right? He's just wasting time. As a troll, sometimes I would do this exact kind of thing. So it's like. But I don't think this guy's trolling. I think this guy is just a twat. Paintings exist on walls is the artist's way. He said it. Well, I mean, the steel man of that position is that like he's trying. Actually, you know what? I don't even think I could steel man that position because that's a really stupid thing too, right? So, is it not a painting when when you take it off the wall, right? Is it not a painting when it's on an easel, but only when you put it on the wall to be like. Contemplated, because to be fair, art doesn't really have, normally speaking, a pragmatic function. Its pragmatic function is to be contemplated, right? So, yeah, actually, maybe he is more retarded than I was actually thinking, right? Kura, oh, hello, Kura. Kura, oh my god. So, fucking Quangos, right? Exactly. Fushizi. No, not Escher, Salvador Dali, yes. I knew Escher was wrong, but it was the only name that came to mind. And I was like, hold on, that's not right. Escher did more mathematical stuff. He's the guy who like laid the foundation for Penrose tiling. Let's see. Cabot says it just always stuck with me. I mean, that's fair. Just because it doesn't move me doesn't necessarily mean you're right. It's wrong to have moved you, right? Things move people in different ways. Let's see. Now we got to go back. Okay, here we go. And again, as I said beforehand, oh, look at this. So, this page doesn't exist. I wonder why. I fucking wonder why. What is going on now? Okay, there we go. I wonder why. So apparently this was inverse bra. Why so many deleted posts, right? This is unreasonably high use information. It really fucking is, right? Oh my god. This is the caliber of people we are actually having to deal with. Oh my god. So again, yes, can tell differences. Extra different flowers, etc. Well, doesn't really answer the question. There's no substance behind that critique, right? What does the number of flowers have to do with determining the real one from the fake one, or determining AI from not AI? Absolute bullshit critique, right? You could tell this person is talking out of their ass because they're looking for something to grab onto, and they can't think of anything in the particular moment, so they pick something that they don't particularly like themselves, and they style it as if it's an objective criticism, when it is absolutely not. It is absolutely grasping at straws. It's a nitpick, pretending to be a legit critique. And again, did not even catch that he got in the first place. I fucking love this troll so much. This put such a smile on my face. I am so glad I got tagged in this shit. Right? Hold on. So, Fushizi said, the Sistine Chapel has no art at all since it's on the ceiling and not the walls, right? Oh my god. I can't even think about how to steel man that position. What the fuck does he mean, right? Is it not art unless it's recognized as art? Is that what he's saying, right? Unless it's hung up and recognized by someone as art, it's not art. Well, I hate to tell you this, then when people hang up, like when people actually recognize AI art as art, then it's by definition art, if that's the case you're looking for, right? Is it? There's one position in the critique of art where it's like, it's more of a conventionalism, right? And actually I think that is the term conventionalism, but I'll have to double check that. But conventionalism holds the idea that art is what the art community, like, holds to be art. Now, that begs the question, what the fuck is the art community, right? Now we have to define another term in order to get to the definition of this term, and we're not even defining the thing as it is. We're actually working with a package deal that's very clearly ideologically motivated, let's be perfectly honest, right? So it is an absolute obfuscation tactic, and like, this is if that's what they mean, then he is even more retarded than he thinks, because then what happens when the art community is split, right? First of all, what defines the art community? Again, as I said, right? Because again, a lot of the people in the sky, in the pod, right, in the Skybrowse extended universe, in the fucking AI community so far, a lot of us actually do like work with our hands, right? We actually have drawn, we actually have done vectoring. Yeah, my model may not be very good, right, in the sense of like detailed, but I whipped this up in like 5 minutes in Illustrator. It wasn't exactly hard. But you know what I did in order to get this? I actually drew out multiple like poses for this to see which ones I wanted to use, since I knew I was going to make a PNG out of this, right? And I knew it didn't have to be so complicated. And for colors, I just used some hex codes, because guess what? I can't see some of these colors. So I was like, fuck it. I'll just look up what colors, like, I'll actually try to ask around what colors to use, right? And I'll just use that. What the fuck is on my glasses? Okay. Anyway, sorry, I had to go on a rant about that because I fucking hate conventionalism as a like art theory. It is just so fucking. It is, again, the joke I was making earlier. Reality is whatever I want it to be, right? Whatever the community says it is, right? Abnegate your own reason, abnegate your own ability to interact objectively with the world around you, and just go with what the community says, right? God, I hate these people. Sorry. Bit of a rant on my side. Where was I? Kuro says, didn't Escher do the stairs painting, the bounds of reality art stuff? Yes, he was very much a mathematician and an artist at the same time. A lot of what he does is influenced by mathematics. In fact, actually, some of his stuff actually influenced mathematics as well. Again, I mentioned Penrose tiling because the whole idea for that came from MC Escher. Let's see. Firestorm Cabot. The impossible angle stairs? Yes. This is where you drop the count. Dankula. Oh no. Oh dear. What happened, meme, right? Right. Oh my god. Cabot says, nothing but sometimes numbers have an obscure meaning, or the flowers themselves have some certain meaning. Yeah, I mean, if you're using numerology or the language of flowers, which, you know, I mean, to be fair, artists do sometimes do, then yeah, that's fine. That can add, you know, that's part of the meaning of the piece. But again, if it wasn't part, like, unless you're doing that, it's like, what the fuck are we doing here, right? You try to, are we doing exegesis, like actually trying to read out of the text what it actually says, or are we doing eisegesis, actually trying to force the text to say what it is we're trying to say? Those are two very different ways of working with this, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest. That kind of thing where it's like, again, number of flowers is like, it, yeah, I don't think this person is actually trying to do some kind of gematria analysis of this. It's like, I wager if this was made by a Hebrew with some training in the Kabbalistic, you know, styling, maybe the numbers might mean something, right? Let's do the counting and let's examine the flowers and their meaning. But I don't think that was actually intended in the piece, to be perfectly honest. I think that would be us in this case reading into the piece instead of like reading out of the piece. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, some people actually do that kind of thing, right? So it's like some people actually do put that kind of thought in there, but not everyone does. And I don't think this is one of the cases. I think that this entire piece was made to shit on these people, and glory be to him for doing this shit, right? Okay, so we already talked about Yeti. G Mediki. Let's see this one right here, right? I would say that the allegedly real one here is superior in the sense that it carries and conveys more information than the artificial one. The dark, cold reflection of the trees triggers my attention. So, I mean, it just captures their attention more, but that alone doesn't actually carry information. They strike me as slightly off, too dirty, too pronounced to be natural. Like, great answer. Again, this is more of an imitativist conversation than anything else, but, let's see. Why not be humble? That infamous velocity. Put my foot 50 cents in here. Took the bite and stings a bit. Being played all naked, pretentious. The word, but I'll play my part. Stick to my guns and motives in here for the long run. Two-way haul. Considering Shlom's a fine artist. So Deyunde. Let's do this art wrap up. Yeah, I mean, again. If you could take your lumps, you could, you know, get some respect from me, right? We're not going to go through this whole thread because this would be like a 5-hour video if we did that, right? Let's see. Kura says, Gnostic ass. Moron. Yeah, Gnostic ass more. Yeah, you know what? You're right. There is a little bit of Gnosticism inflected in like the mainstream art community. And yeah, this is one of the things where it's like, I've criticized artists to their face about this, where it's like, this is stupid and you are taking yourself way too fucking seriously, or you are not taking the situation nearly seriously enough. And this is X, Y, or Z reasons, but you know. You can't really argue with people who believe that they have the enlightened view, right? Because if they are enlightened, then it's you who has to change their mind if the circumstances don't actually pan out, right? Enlightenment is fake and gay. Anyway, Cabot says, that's the thing everyone reads into art. Then there are the shit posters, sometimes literally like in the modern... Yeah, I mean, that's true. I can't exactly read the mind of an artist, so to an extent, some of it very well may be eisegesis.